Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Vincent.
Today we're sharing 5 tips for first-time home buyers, a few things you want to think about or to do if you're considering new construction. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers out there. We're up to over 600 subscribers, so we really appreciate you all. And for anyone watching who's interested in new construction, we're talking about that a lot lately, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button now.
Awesome. So our very first tip that we're going to talk about is the down payment. When Lisa and I started this journey, we thought that we were going to have to save 20% of the purchase price to use as a down payment towards the house. And we quickly learned that we actually didn't have to save that much. You can put down as low as 3% of the purchase price towards your home, which makes it a lot easier for folks to purchase a house. And then we learned that there are also lots of down payment assistance programs out there. And so if you can't even save the 3%, there's still an opportunity for you to get some assistance in purchasing a home. And one of the ways that you're going to figure out if you qualify for those down payment assistance programs is by talking to a mortgage lender, which takes us to tip number 2. So tip number 2 is all about pre-approvals. And pre-approvals are extremely important because they tell you how much house you can actually afford, right? That's also the document, the approval that gets you kind of started on the home buying process. And so I always recommend to people that they go to their local bank, wherever you put your money every time you get a paycheck, go to your local bank and ask to speak to a mortgage lender. They're going to ask you some questions about how much money do you make? How much debt do you have? What do you want a house payment to be, for example? And then they're going to run your credit report. And from all of that information, they'll be able to put a pre-approval together and let you know exactly how much how much money they'll give you in order for you to purchase a home. Now, you might get approved for $400,000, right? That doesn't mean you buy a $400,000 house. You get approved for $400,000, but you may only want to purchase a $250,000 house, for example. But that pre-approval lets you know how much house you can afford. It also will let the lender be able to help you determine if you qualify for a home down payment assistance program, or if you need to do some work with improving your credit or paying down some debt. Whatever it may be, the lender will be able to tell you these are the next steps that you should take before you move forward in the home buying process. And so after you get that pre-approval in hand, then you're ready to kind of move forward and take the next step.
Yes, and that brings us to tip number 3, which is to find a realtor or real estate agent. So first we want to start out saying that for new construction, you definitely still need a real estate agent. You may hear around on the internet that you don't need one, you can just talk to the sales agent, but that's definitely not true because you want someone to represent your interests. And especially as you go further into the process, you need someone to answer all your questions, to advocate for you, and really help you through the process and help you understand everything. Also, it's zero cost to you. With new construction, your builder is going to pay your agent's fee, so there's nothing for you to lose in terms of money if you're connected to a real estate agent. Definitely get that at the beginning of your home buying process. Also, you want to make sure that your real estate agent is someone who has experience in your area. So look around and see who's in your area in terms of real estate agents. What is their experience like? What types of homes do they typically work with, or do they advertise or go look at? And you can tell a lot of that online, and you can also talk to them. A lot of them will do a free consultation with you and just kind of get to know them and see if they're right for you. And so lastly, with the real estate agent, once you have one, you want to definitely make sure that they are with you when you're going around looking at homes. If you go into a new neighborhood and you just go to the sales office and start talking to the sales agent there, that can oftentimes prevent you from bringing in a real estate agent later to represent you. So that's something very important to consider. Get your agent and stick with them, and you're a team going around looking at homes together.
Yeah, shout out to our real estate agent, Ariel. We'll link her below, her YouTube channel below, Homemade in Atlanta. She was amazing.
The best.
If it wasn't for her, we would not be sitting in this house right now. She had all the information we needed because it's competitive out there. And we were watching our emails like a hawk. But because of the information she shared with us in advance, we were able to get the house. So thank you, Ariel.
Thank you. That brings us to tip number 4, which is all about earnest money. So earnest money is a topic that you may hear here and there, but sometimes it's kind of like, what is earnest money, right? Earnest money is a deposit towards your down payment. That means that you are under contract once you pay that earnest money. So it pretty much means that you like the house so much that you're going to give them this money to hold the lot that you want for you. So once you have that money, then that is your lot. That's something that you are under contract for, and it doesn't belong to you yet. You don't own it yet, but it's designated to belong to you with the earnest money. Typically, it's 1 to 2% of the sale price of the home, and that varies depending on the sale price of the home and your location. All of those things can make it a variable price. If you're in the higher end of homes, if you're buying a higher priced home, sometimes your earnest money may be as much as 20%. And so it really does vary depending on what type of home that you're buying. We definitely recommend, once you know your earnest money amount, make sure you have that money available in cash to pay, because sometimes the timeline can vary. You want to make sure once that contract is ready, you're ready to sign, you're ready to pay that earnest money all at the same time.
Yeah, and we know that right now, getting into a new construction home can be a process. Some communities, they have bids that are going on, so you might have to pay the earnest money plus some. In other communities like ours, it was just an email was sent out, and whoever responded first, they got the lot. And so as you're working with your realtor, you want to ask those questions when you go to visit the communities, like how are you all releasing lots and assigning people to those lots? What is that process? You want to get as much detail as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And so we're almost at the point now where the house is starting to be built, which is amazing. We've got our down payment situation under control. We've got our pre-approvals, working with an amazing realtor. We've given our earnest money to get the lot, and now we have the lot and the builder is ready to start building. The next tip, the last tip that we have for you all, is all about inspections, right? When they are building a brand new house, we said this in other videos, humans are building these houses. So there is going to be a mistake somewhere down the line. And so what we recommend, what our realtor recommended to us, is to hire a private inspector, private home inspector. And that person will come in as the build process is going on during certain times and inspect the house. And so 2 inspections usually happen, and you can get more, but 2 of them usually happen, and it's a pre-drywall inspection and a post-drywall or a final inspection. During the pre-drywall, that's when there's nothing but wood all around, the roof is on, the windows are in, but the walls have not gone up. The insulation has not gone in. And that's when the inspector comes through and they make sure that all the wood looks good. They make sure the windows were put in correctly. They make sure the roof was installed correctly. They make sure that the outside barrier was put on correctly. They just make sure that the builder is building your house correctly, right? And if there are issues, they write up this amazing report. They take pictures of everything and they send that to the builder so that they can correct those issues before they start to cover it up with walls. And so this is an important inspection. Ours cost around $300 in the Atlanta area. There are some that was a lot more expensive, some that were a lot cheaper, but we had an amazing inspector who came through and looked through our house during the pre-drywall. Then there's also a post-drywall closer to when the house is finished. And so that happened about a week or so before we closed. And so a week or so before we closed on the house, he came through again and walked through and utilized everything. He made sure all the light switches worked, all the outlets worked, all the lights and the water was running, and he ran the water the entire time that he was here. That way, if there were any leaks, it would showcase itself before he left. He ran the microwaves and the stove, the heat and the air. He walked around the outside of the house, and any and everything that he noticed that could be corrected, he documented that in a report and shared that with the builder. And the builder was then able to fix those things before we closed. And so it's money worth spending. One of the worst things is moving into a house and having a brand new house and having all these issues pop up and vendors having to come into your house to fix them and knock down walls, all because someone didn't catch an issue before it was covered up. And so you definitely want to get an inspector. And the last thing about inspections is the government is going to do inspections of your house also. Every county has building codes. And so the government will come through and they'll look to make sure everything is up to code. Sometimes people think that inspection is enough. I'll tell you that it's not, because the government inspector is looking for code violations, right? They want to make sure the house is safe. Our inspector, our private inspector, was looking for those things as well as quality of the build. All right, so those were our top 5 tips for first-time home buyers. We hope that it was helpful for you. If you have questions, feel free to throw them into the comment section. We also want to hear what other topics, what questions do you all have? We want to make sure that the content we're producing is helpful to you and that it takes the fear out of this entire new home, new build, construction journey. And so feel free to put those in the comments. If you haven't already, we welcome you to join us on this journey by subscribing, liking the video, that really helps us out, and hitting that bell if you want to be notified of new videos when they come out. And so until next time, thank you all so much again, and we'll see you later. Peace.